Hello everyone, how you guys doing? I have a very special guest with me. It's my cousin Richard, who's about a year older than me. You're about a year older than me, right?
In 10 months.
10 months, okay, give or take a few months. Whatever. All right, so tonight we had the great opportunity, ooh, what's going on in the background? Cars coming our way. So we had the great opportunity to go to the Hollywood premiere of the brand new film starring Johnny Depp. It is Transcendence. Ooh. Now, really what attracted me to this project to begin with was the fact that this was going to be the directorial debut of Wally Fisher, whatever his last name is, who's mainly known for being an Oscar-winning cinematographer on such films as Inception, and also he worked on the Batman Dark Knight trilogy. Everything that Christopher Nolan's done, he's worked on, and of course he won an Oscar for Inception. So that was the main reason I was excited to see this movie. I was definitely looking forward to seeing it next week, but we got a chance to see it a little earlier, so hey, that's pretty cool, right?
Oh, I thought it was great night tonight. I mean, it was a really fun premiere. It was kind of funny how it was actually split into two, and
yeah, we didn't get to see it with the stars. We didn't get to see it with the stars. They had two theaters showing it, and they were right across the street. One where we didn't get a chance to get into, where the stars were all at, and then one where we were in a separate theater where we actually
cool kids in ours.
Yeah, we got to see the movie, and some of my friends were there, and it was great to reconnect with some of the friends. So, the movie stars Johnny Depp, of course, and Rebecca Hall. Morgan Freeman, God himself, you know.
Yeah. And
from what am I saying? Bruce Almighty. And he's probably also in that movie as well. And Paul Bentley and anybody else. Did you recognize anybody else? There's a few other people that I recognize, but I can't really say.
Well, yeah, the first guy that got injured.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is. Yeah, he's a really great actor.
He is a great actor. You don't remember who his name was?
I can't remember what his name is right now, but he's been in tons of films like The Boondock Saints 2 and Traffic and many others. He's a great actor.
He was great in. Yeah.
I'm just sad. I think it's like Clifton Jr. or something like that. Something like that. It's some junior.
It's a double Cliff.
Yeah, he's a really great actor.
It's a cliffhanger.
Anybody else did you recognize in the film?
Let's see.
There's no. Cara Mara.
Dude, the guy that played the military guy, he's really good too.
Where have you seen him before?
Oh, I've seen him in quite a few movies.
Is his name like Calm, something like that? Man, we're bad with names today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we really probably should just
get right into
start over and research the names.
No, we're not just going to go into it, man. So this movie is about technology.
Yeah,
and it's about the good that can come from technology and the bad. Of course, we need both good and bad because it's a movie. We need both dark and light.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we come back from the darkness into the light, and we find happiness and harmony and peace in the land of movie land.
Well,
magic.
I really enjoy movies that can kind of stretch you in different ways, like where one moment you really are for the actors and what's happening, and then being able to have another moment where you're pulled back and you're really kind of like either angry at them or you're scared of them is really good. You know, kind of like how first time you see Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, he just looks like this little frail old man in a glass cage. But then after you see him eating some fava beans, you just know that you'll never want to walk into a dark alley and see him again.
That is pretty good. That's a good way to put it. So back to this movie. Yeah. I like what you had to say. Yeah. Back to this movie. Transcendence is the directorial debut of Wally Fisher. It is also executive produced by Emma Thomas and Christopher Nolan, who I believe are a married couple. And of course, we all know who Christopher Nolan is. You know who Christopher Nolan is, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, he played in Priest.
No, it's not Christopher Nolan. Oh. Christopher Nolan's a director.
Oh, sorry, I'm totally...
Paul Bentley played in Priest.
Paul Bentley, that's who I was...
Christopher Nolan is director of the Batman Dark Knight trilogy and Inception and stuff like that. So he's part of this as well. Yeah. But this is all Wally Fisher, whatever his name is. Yeah. And it stars Johnny Depp, who is this very smart man who wants to take technology and the internet and make millions of changes with it and help make the world a better place. But there are this kind of evil side group that wants to tear him down, and in the process they shoot him, and about a month later or so he finally passes away. But his woman, Rebecca Hall I believe is her name, she loves him so much and can't really be without him, so she transports his mind into the computer, which for me felt like a Twilight Zone episode that I've seen before. I've seen this done before in Twilight Zone episodes, or maybe Tales from the Darkness, what is that? Tales from the Darkness?
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, there is one that's a darkness one that was
Dark side. Tell us on the dark side.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there's that element where, this is like all could be probably tied up in about a half an hour, but it's stretched out to about 2 hours, and we get to know these characters for that period of time, and let's just say it doesn't really go as planned. It gets really out of control. They don't know how to deal with it. The one element that I liked about it, that once he's inside the computer, they go to a small town, and they infect that whole town and build this whole, big, huge corporation that gets really quite scary. That really just really creeped me out. There's a lot of elements that happen once you get to the point of that point in the movie of that, and I can't talk, but that were really creepy. That really kept my attention.
Like what?
Like when the character of Johnny Depp, when he's in the computer, once he can help out the people that are maybe blind or crippled, he can now infect their mind and take total control of their thoughts.
Yeah, it's like a hive mentality.
Yeah, so it does tackle like the good. I mean, the amazing stuff that can happen, like that Johnny Depp can do through the computer, is heal people. But at the same time, is the negative side of it, where he can totally take over their mind and corrupt them for his own bidding.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the part that related to my little analogy of the whole Farber Bean thing, because like in the beginning of the show, he's this lovable guy, and at the very end, he's a lovable guy again. But so it comes full circle. But I find that I had kind of the opposite feelings. Me personally, I think this movie really should have been like a 2 or 3-parter, and I know that after you see it, you're either going to look at his direction or you're going to see my direction in it. But I really feel like there should have been a little bit more fleshing out of how the technology was. I mean, I think a lot of us kind of like just take for granted how this is a possibility, but really the movies that I find that are great are the movies that really delve into the understanding and the background to be able to kind of help you understand and really kind of absorb it and make it so believable, because you really have that information in front of you to be able to evaluate it and say, yeah, that could totally be like real. And to me, I love movies that make me feel like they can take a fantasy and create a reality out of it that I'm going to really latch onto and kind of go, I could totally like wake up tomorrow and be in this world, And I
can agree with you on some level. I felt like this movie had a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
But for some reason didn't know exactly what to do with all of them.
And that's where it fell short.
And I think near the end, I don't want to give anything away, but I think it falls apart in the very end.
Yeah.
I would have liked a different ending. I would have liked a different ending. I don't want to get in detail because I want people to go see this movie, because I felt like it was a good movie. I felt like it was a well-made Twilight Zone episode for about 2 hours. That's what I come down to it. I felt like, it had some strong characters, some strong ideas, but at the same time, it didn't really have a clear idea to what to do with those ideas, and for that, it fell flat in some aspects of the movie. But I felt like, I like the acting, I like the direction. I think Wally, hopefully someday he will go back to being a cinematographer, but most directors of photography, usually, once they become a director, they stay a director. But I would like to see him go back. But for a first movie, I think it's a good first movie, and hopefully he can do better. I also want to point out the music by Michael Dana was definitely worth buying the soundtrack. I thought the music for this movie was the best aspect of this movie. The special effects was fine. It looked all right for the most part. It wasn't the greatest special effects I've ever seen. The story was okay. It wasn't that deep as I think the movie thinks it's deep.
If you could sum up in, let's say, like 5 words what that movie was, what would that be?
I'm not good at that. I'm not good. Like, what is your favorite aspects of a movie or something like that?
Like, I'm trying to say, if you could compact into a summarization, even like let's say 2 or 3 sentences.
It's very ambitious. It's completely ambitious, and more ambitious for its own good. I think they should have probably took this idea and went back to the drawing board and tried to flesh it out better. So when they come back and make it in a movie, it could have been more memorable.
You see that, people? He's wishing it would have been a 2 or 3-parter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the thing, it's about technology, which it can be hard on it, because within a short period of time, this movie is already going to be dated. Maybe it's already dated once we've seen it. It's already dated. It's like, okay, the technology is already getting better than what we've seen in this film. Or maybe it's too ridiculous where hopefully this technology will never go this far, ever. It's fun. It's a fantasy. But there's also aspects that probably can and one day will be real, that this that this film explores. So we just don't know. I don't know computers as much as the next person that's smarter than me when it comes to computers. So I don't know where this is actually, you know, if this has any basis in reality or is it just complete fantasy. My guess, complete fantasy.
So any of you out there that might be following this, that might like have some access to, like, maybe you work in some underground labs for IBM or whatever, and can anonymously backtrace so that you don't get caught telling us like that this is potentially reality that is in the wait, you know, that we're going to see something like this in the near future, let us know, because we would love to be able to actually go, oh my gosh, we just saw the movie of the future.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case, though. So, final thoughts and a rating, whatever rating you like to give movies.
Final thoughts, I think it was a great concept, and I think great acting. I mean, it really was. I really loved the way Johnny Depp played his part. He was very Johnny. That's the way I like to put it, because Johnny really can't screw things up too much. That's why they pay him $25 million a movie, because he's a sure bet. And if you go from the aspect of actually just looking at it as a great Johnny film, you're gonna love it. If you go into it with actually trying to like read into everything, there's a lot of gaps and a lot of things that you'll see in the end that kind of go, oh my gosh, they kind of tried to close this movie out because they didn't really have a good way to end it, because the concept of the movie kind of looked like it could have gone on forever with what was the name's Transcendence, right? So that's kind of like in my opinion, like a never-ending thing. Like it's the next evolution, right? And so I would probably give it like 3 stars, 3 good stars, because
out of what?
Out of 5.
Okay.
I think 3 stars. 4 if it would have had. You know, if it would have had a more flesh into it, and it would have been a 5 had it been a 2 or 3-parter, because I was really looking for a lot more information on what was going on, and there was not a lot of that in the background. It was kind of like a story. To me, it was like a digital love story, and so that's why I give it 3.
Yeah, I felt like it had a lot to say about the world we live in today. You know, it was a movie that definitely made me want to maybe put my cell phone down and have a nice conversation with a human being in front of me. I do appreciate technology. I would not be on the internet if it wasn't for technology and be able to even share my feelings with you. So I appreciate that, the good and the bad. So I felt like it did have some interesting ideas, some ideas that creeped me out, that freaked me out a little bit. Some interesting set pieces, action, set pieces.
We know what's on his mind.
So it had all that good stuff going for it. You know, some great acting, great music, good direction by Wally. Definitely shows that he can actually produce a film, get something out there to be seen. I wish they definitely went back and maybe did a little bit more research. Maybe spend some more time before they actually started making this movie. Maybe it could have been the Matrix of our day. I don't think it's the Matrix film of our day.
Well, Johnny would have been a great Neo. So
for that, it's not a perfect film. It's not a great film. I wish it was a great film. I think it's good. I think it's definitely worth seeing it once, especially if you love what Wally Fisher has done in the past and you want to see what he's doing as a director. And if you're a big fan of the cast, I mean, it's got a really great, wonderful cast.
Great cast. Loved it all.
The movie looked good. I just wish it was more fleshed out, and at the same time, I wish that the ending...
Cool really, CGI, too.
Yeah,
man.
I just wish the ending really... like grabbed me and like, oh my gosh! No. It didn't do that. No. So in the end, I'm going to give it a 3 stars out of 4. All right, let's close it out. I'm MovieManCHAD. This is my cousin Rich. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook and Twitter. Please also go to MoviePilot.com. And if you enjoyed this review with my cousin, please click right here, subscribe to my channel. Let us know in the comment box below what you thought of Transcendence. It comes out next weekend, April 18th. I'm really curious what you have to say, what major critics have to say about this movie. It's gonna be really curious to find out what to say. What if you've seen the film, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought of my cousin Rich, if he did a good job and you'd like to see him come back for another review in the future. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please talk to everybody you love. Put down that cell phone and have a conversation with a human being. That's what I learned most about this movie.
Absolutely.
Peace be with you, my friends. Ooh, yes, right there.